Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We got a new item for you. This is Workpro's newest and latest Roto head ratchet, and it's a 1/4" drive. And here is the part number for it, as well as its description. And I love how they bolded new, but I mean, it's pretty obvious it's new. But it's their 72 tooth swivel head or Roto head ratchet. And it's pretty nice, pretty unique in what it is. They did do a good job changing out. I would say the typical design that you'll see. I'll show you this Pittsburgh here, where it's going to be the split beam, right? They actually spread this beam open, and they allow for this round head to drop inside, and it uses these retaining circles here to compress and hold it in place. Now, what's different about the Workpro is it doesn't do that. It actually uses these Torx bits, and it screws into the head, and then the head itself just swivels on that location. And it does a good job with clearance not hitting until you get to, actually I take that back, I might just barely touch right there. But it's a unique design, and if you're dealing with something with low torque, that's actually not a bad workaround, especially with having to do all that work here to split this open. Now they laser etch the Workpro in here, and it does have a push button release. None of my other ones I have push button releases. I don't know if that's necessary because the detent's not going to be that strong or necessarily need to be that strong. But it does have a chrome, it looks like a nickel chrome finish, more of a satin finish, if you like that. It does help with a little bit of dexterity. And this is a sealed head unit, so you cannot take it apart and service it. Now it's worth noting that the retention button actually protrudes quite a bit. And if you look inside there, you can actually see the spring. To get you guys to see it. You actually see the spring and the internals inside there. And I'm not a fan of that, actually. I don't like that. I get my fingernail in there, dirt can get inside there, and actually gum this up. I would like to see them make it sit flush, because when you hold it like this, it does, if socket's engaged, it does sit right at the top. So that looks normal. But released, it sits too high. I like to actually see this button as it's holding onto a socket sit deeper and maybe flush with the top. Now the selector switch is on the top here. This is metal, it is not plastic. A lot of manufacturers actually like to use plastic here. I'll give it to Workpro. Even though this is a Chinese built unit, they've kept metal all throughout the head here, and that is a good addition to this ratchet. Now something that I have issue with, it is 72 teeth, which is great. It's a high tooth count, but that also is a lot more difficult to make happen in smaller head ratchets, especially 1/4 inches. And I think the trade-off with that is maybe it's too much teeth. I don't know, but this is gritty. Maybe it's not enough oil. It is not ideal. You try out even my Pittsburgh, much nicer. The Icon, much nicer. All my ratchets in the 1/4" drive are better than this. Now, who's to say if you put a little bit of oil in there, it won't get a little bit better? I mean, granted, it's a sealed unit or a non-serviceable unit, so getting oil in there might be a bit of a challenge. Maybe that improves it, maybe it doesn't. One of my biggest gripes. Now, as far as the handle goes, you're going to have polypropylene and TPR, which is your thermoplastic rubber, for your handle here, so harder, and your softer. So everything harder is going to be red or white, and then blue is going to be your softer thermoplastics. I like that they took the time to add this additional color for Workpro. That's a whole nother step in the process. So otherwise, retention's good, anvil looks good. Yeah, it's a good unit all around. Now it measures 5 and 7/8 inches long from head to stern. It's going to weigh about 4.9 ounces by itself. The grip feels good, handle feels good. It is a little more boxy, but I mean it's good enough. I mean in comparison to some of the others, right? It's a little bit shorter, barely, than the other units that I have, but that'd be good for tight places. But it does give you a good grip. So yeah, you could go thinner, but it's kind of a pick your poison at this point. Now 72 tooth, as I mentioned, 270-degree swivel, much like all these other swivels here. And where can you find it? Well, Amazon's going to have it for you. and pricing for it's coming in about $15. And right now there's a lot of sales going on with Black Friday and Cyber Monday, and you can actually get this for probably about maybe as low as 10 to 12 bucks with the sales going on right now. So not a bad price for a Chinese-made ratchet, and I'd say they're actually pushing closer to being similar to some of the Taiwanese-made ones out there. So quality for Workpro has definitely increased over the last couple years, and I appreciate that. Workpro is doing a better job in putting money back into R&D. So glad to see it. Anyways, fairly decent ratchet. I do have my gripes with the push button, as I've mentioned, and that high back drag, just really clanky pawl design inside there. So Workpro, if you're watching, please fix that. And it's also worth noting, maybe Workpro is trying to get a new logo, but you can see the W on the lower section and the P across the top. Almost looks like a smiley face. And for some reason it's patented as well, so I don't know exactly what process is patented. And maybe Workpro could chime in on what they patented on this. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you don't mind, I'd love to hear your thoughts on swivel ratchets. What do you think of this one? Do you have any of these other ones, or do you have a favorite? And please like and subscribe and leave your comments down below. All right, guys, we'll talk to you again soon.